On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, we have a full recap of college football last week. Big preview of Auburn, Oklahoma. I'm a little terrified of Jordan Mateer, but Jack talked me off a ledge a little bit. We have our NFL Week 3 confidence picks, and we have the return of Michael of the Week, some WNBA talk, some Sean McVay plantar fasciitis talk. It's a really fun show, really packed show. I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Welcome into episode 207 of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Today is September 18th, 2025. And Jack, I'm a little bit worried about the Auburn Tigers this weekend.
Why?
This weekend?
I think
How about
John
the next
Mateer,
three?
Well, we could talk about the next two when we get there, but I know it was Temple, and Temple has their own problems, but John Mateer looks like a Heisman candidate, and the Auburn secondary looks like they're playing Pop Warner football.
I don't know if I'd make it that black and white, man. Like, it was South Alabama. If the guys weren't completely focused, I can understand it. We're getting Oklahoma this week. It'll be a big game. They'll be ready. Boys will be strapped. I'm excited for it. Jackson Arnold revenge game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think Jackson Arnold's going to pop off. I think the offense is going to have a great day, but Oklahoma's a little bit better than Baylor.
Yes. They're an SEC
Little.
team. They're a good team.
I think Baylor's a good team.
I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but they're next up on the schedule. We got to go there and we got to play them. And the way we've looked through 3 weeks, Brian, I'm confident. I'm confident in what we have, in what Jackson Arnold can do with his legs, what the whole team can do. And, dude, if we can connect on some of these throws down the field, beat Oklahoma that way too, like we're very versatile. We're very versatile. And the defense is going to show up. This is an Auburn defense. Love the way that we're getting after the quarterback and creating pressures. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
I'm excited. I don't want it to sound like I'm not excited. I'm a little worried.
I stopped betting on Auburn football a long time ago, so I honestly don't even know what the spread is, Brian. What is the spread?
So it started.
Dogs. They got to be dogs.
Yeah, it started at 3.5, and then the last weekend the football happened, and now it's at 6.5.
Whoa.
I'm hitting that all day. Plus 6.5. Give me that.
You do have the revenge factor with the quarterback. Going on the road doesn't make me feel great for Auburn. I wouldn't dismiss South Alabama. I mean, they comfortably covered a 24-point spread against Auburn. I don't know how close it really was, but the final score was a comfortable cover. So South Alabama,
that
on
whole
the road
second
was
half
able to do
Auburn
it.
played was sorry to cut that they were conservative and it was nonsense play calling. And Hugh Freeze even admitted it after the game. He's like, "Yeah, that was on me. We shouldn't have just tried to run out the clock the whole second half."
I got you, but there was a cover there. Well,
there was a cover.
Temple covered their 24-point spread against Temple. South Alabama was able to hang within 24. So something to look at there. Auburn at home, Temple on the road. Not that it's much of a road atmosphere playing at the Link when it's covered in cherry and white. But I mean, Auburn
covered is a stretch possibly.
They put up a banner. They put up a banner around the bottom part of the stadium so that it covers the green and it's red. That's about it. But anyway, it's a half-assed effort of making it the Temple home stadium, but that's not the point. The point is Auburn has to go on the road, face their first legit opponent. I guess you could call Baylor, sure, on the road, but this is going to be not a wake-up call, but a game that you can't come into. The rust has to already be shaken off. It helps having the quarterback in a revenge role. Is he getting revenged? Was he done dirty by Oklahoma? I don't know. Is that just something the Auburn fans are drumming up to make themselves feel better, to try and have an angle that the quarterback's going to come out and look like a Heisman Trophy candidate? I don't know. But what you do know is they're going on a road to a tough atmosphere in a very, very, very good Oklahoma team of a quarterback of their own who I would put up there playing like he wants to make some noise for the Heisman Trophy himself. So not an easy game, and it doesn't get much easier the following 2 weeks either.
Yeah, I think you said something in there that makes a lot of sense. It's a good gauge of how, if they can play Oklahoma at least close or beat them, you're a lot more confident going into A&M and hosting Georgia the next 2 weeks than if they get the doors blown off and you're like, well, it was probably a fake 3-0, like it was 2 years ago when Auburn started 3-0.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough stretch. Having said that, this is, I think it's fair to say, the easiest of the bunch. I got more faith in A&M and Georgia than I do Oklahoma. And you're convinced that you're convinced that Matisse is some Heisman winning guy. I don't know if I'm there.
He's looked electric, I think. And
Yeah, he's really good. He's up there.
yeah.
The next two quarterbacks that face him and Marcel Reed, and Reed is like the third highest odds right now after what he did to Notre Dame, which we'll talk about next. But it's going to be a rough stretch for Auburn. But if they could just come out winning one, if they can win 2 of 3, they're going to make the college football playoff. If they can win 1 of 3, there's still a chance. So that's what the goal should be here. And that starts with a win against Oklahoma. And then the next 2, you hope for 1 more win.
Is the season over if they go 0-3?
Depends.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean,
they're not making the playoff.
You're not making the playoff.
If they lose 2 games, are they making the playoff?
Yeah,
they could. If they
could.
lose 2 and then they beat Bama in the Iron Bowl,
yeah,
they could realistically still be 10-2, and that gets them in.
If
they lose to Oklahoma and A&M and then beat Georgia and then finish the season with an Iron Bowl win and don't lose in between those, they're in the playoff.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a different conversation to be had there. You also got to hope, honestly, not that you want to hope, but you want Alabama to be a good team at that Iron Bowl so that it looks like a good win, right? If Alabama has 4 losses, that's not necessarily a playoff clinching win to get yourself into the top 12. So as much as it's kind of a weird dynamic, right? You hate Alabama so much, but you kind of need them to win their games so that game means something there in late November.
Also, the way Vanderbilt is playing with Diego Pavia, and I don't know if you guys have seen the Barstool Vandy graphic about how they get into the playoff, but they've had Auburn written as a should win all season. And that's going to be a big game too, I guess. But
where's that game being played? In Nashville?
I'm pretty sure it's in Jordan-Hare. But Auburn's 0-3 against Diego. So it's
Who was he on prior? Was he on a different team?
New Mexico State.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say he has just had our number, but can we talk about that game, or are we not ready for that yet?
We could talk a little bit about that game. Theo Vaughn gets to go on a date with Diego's mom because of that game.
Is she
something
attractive?
about that.
Is there a bit there, or?
Yeah, she's cute.
That game's in Vanderbilt, by the way.
Okay. Auburn North.
Auburn
North. But Matt, I know you had some coin on South Carolina.
Dude, the quarterback, what's his Sellers knocked out of the game with the concussion, and they didn't look good with him playing. So take him out of the game, and it just all fell apart. Not an easy place to play, South Carolina, especially as it turns from late afternoon to under the lights. Can be a tricky crowd, but I mean, they were so lifeless. Vanderbilt brought all the energy. They took the crowd out, and that's why you saw a 31-7 win for Vandy. And, you know, I took him as a joke, especially having to go into South Carolina. I knew they were playing well. I knew that I heard the murmurs about the quarterback, but I was like, you know, this is a legit South Carolina team that gets them at home. You know, maybe it's a close game, but they got to handle business, especially on the money line. And it was a complete opposite. It didn't help. The quarterback got knocked out, but between you and I, probably lose that game with or without the quarterback, the Sellers.
Yeah, and I know I like Sellers. I like his rec specs, and this is a tired take, but when it comes down to it, I just can't back a quarterback with the last name Sellers.
Why? 'Cause he's
sells
gonna
games.
Sell the game.
Yeah, it's just I know it's
It's a
dumb,
great
but
point.
that's like how it is.
It's a great point. I mean, I don't remember seeing the hit. I remember I forget what I was doing, but I came back, turned the game on in the backups, and I'm like, where the hell did the quarterback go? And you find out he gets knocked out. So
Yeah, no,
look,
Matt, you said it really well. Everything you already said, you said it well. But the one thing I do have to disagree with is it was still very early on in that football game when he got knocked out with the concussion. So I don't want to, we've watched a lot of football. Momentum swings, crazy shit happens, 28-3. I think that they would have had a shot under the lights in Columbia.
for sure.
But it definitely, when he got knocked out, that completely, as you said, deflated the crowd, and they just didn't have a shot after that.
They look lifeless.
Didn't have a shot.
But I do think Vanderbilt was playing well enough. Maybe it's close, but I think with Sellers playing, I do still believe Vanderbilt would have came out on top. I think they were the better team that night, regardless of who South Carolina had at quarterback. They were there to win a football game. They came prepared. They came fired up, and maybe it is closer. It's not 31-7, but I truly, maybe I'm wrong, but truly believe Vanderbilt wins that game outright with Sellers playing the full game or getting knocked out when he get knocked out. And we'll never know, but at the end of the day, Sellers did get knocked out, and Vanderbilt got a big one.
For sure.
SEC is going to be – I think they have 11 teams in the top 25 right now. It's just –
Well, it opens the door for Auburn to get a big win this weekend, and South Carolina, troubles of their own. That was a team they were probably going to have to battle to get maybe a last spot in the top 12. And if they can kind of right the ship and hold their own over the next next 3 games, I don't know what their record has to look like. You would think they need to win 2 of the games, and the 2 need to be Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Maybe they pull off a crazy game at home against Georgia. I think that game's at home.
Yeah, see, I'm somewhat more confident in Georgia than I am A&M because Georgia, we get them at home.
Yeah, because we're at home. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some weird things happen in College Station with those. What do they call the male cheerleaders that yell all the time? Are they just called yellers?
Yeah, that's the
yellers.
The home of the 12th fan.
Hollers, the hooting
hollers.
Hollers.
Yeah, the A&M hollers. Yeah, I don't know, but they had a huge win in Notre Dame. Marcel Reed at the buzzer. I mean, the
SEC is a mess right now, dude, and a mess in a good way. There's a lot of talent across the board. Hell, Texas is in the SEC that I think people still forget about.
Yeah, it's getting easy to forget about them because Arch Manning is having trouble throwing touchdowns against UTEP.
Yeah, they don't look consistent on offense. The defense, I think, is still solid enough that'll I don't think they'll lose a game that they should always win. But the offense has not been clicking. And I don't know if that's Sarkisian or whatever the head coach is. I don't know if there's an offensive coordinator pulling the strings. I don't know if Arch
I think it might
really isn't ready to operate a high-powered college offense, let alone the pros. I know we already had him circled as the number 1 overall pick.
I had him circled as the next Giants quarterback.
Doesn't look like it right now. I mean, you said tank for Arch for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and then they got Jackson Dart, so maybe that's off now, especially now that Jackson Dart's actually getting in the games and Arch Manning is looking like he is in games.
Yeah, but still some time to go there, man. It's I don't know. Do you almost hope Auburn gets blown out this weekend against Oklahoma so that they come fired up the next 2? I know it sounds crazy. I don't want to say that, but
no, that's not how we roll. We need to win to keep momentum going. If we lose a game, we fall apart.
Is that a night game? Is that a night game or is that a 12 noon game?
Oklahoma will be 3:30.
Or is that a 3:30 on ABC?
I'm pretty sure Georgia's a late game.
Okay.
I don't know if they've confirmed that yet.
They haven't confirmed that yet?
They do the stupid flex thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I think at the minimum it would be a 4 o'clock, like in the later slate, 3 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, so the only confirmed start times are this weekend Oklahoma's 3:30, and then next weekend in College Station's also 3:30.
Okay.
I guess they're gonna wait. If Auburn wins their next 2 games, they'll be a top 10 team. That's got to be the ESPN primetime. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. Chris Fowler, by the way, him doing that Monday Night Football game. He's got a cold. He's got to figure out. He's really got to figure out his voice. Probably.
What he did the second game?
Yeah, he did the Raiders game. And
I thought that announcing crew. Who they have? Lewis Riddick with them.
Yeah, and Dan Orlovsky.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
It was awful. Chris Fowler, he had the suds.
You guys thought that was awful? I didn't think it was
pretty bad.
I was going to comment on that. I had a better experience listening to that game than the other one. Well, actually, I heard my
Joe
favorite.
Buck hater.
I got my favorite Joe Buck call of all time. I can't even remember it now, but I got it. I tweeted it because it was phenomenal during that Texans game. Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh, I guess I didn't tweet it.
How dare you?
What the hell? What the hell? Oh, I did tweet it.
Helly?
Oh, it was CJ Stroud. He goes, Stroud, 3rd and 8. And then he does that thing where he does the long pause. Bad throw.
I mean, that's kind of summed up CJ Stroud's year so far. 3rd and long. Tried to find Nico Collins somewhere in camp.
Yeah, pretty much. That offensive line is not doing him any favors. I wonder if he's on the Joe Burrow track where he might just have to get hurt and wait for them to bring in a competent offensive line. Seems like more of a competitor, though.
Than Burrow?
Yeah.
Maybe a little less injury prone.
I just mean like wanting to be on the field and play through adversity and things like that. Maybe I'm out of pocket here.
We had a discussion about this. Turf toe deserves a more meaningful injury tag because it sucks. When you say turf toe, it sounds like a rug burn.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad at all.
But we could stay with the college football. We have a couple more games that were big to get through.
Can we talk about the Villanova Wildcats 2-0 against the spread in the last
Crazy throw.
2-0 against the spread on the road in Happy Valley. How do you like it? FCS, by the way.
That was an insane 4th down play.
It was unbelievable. I mean, for a backdoor cover, you felt the crowd, the delusional sway one way Penn State Nittany Lion fans who all hammered that spread. There's no way Penn State doesn't win this game 70-0. Put all the money in the world, probably took out loans to take that spread. And Villanova comes in and they cover it. And it basically felt like a loss. I know they won. I know Penn State will be fine. But when you get a spread cover like that, you lose a lot of money like that. Feels like a loss. Hell of a job by the Cats and hell of a catch by that kid. What was it, Dimbowski or whatever his name was? Hell of a catch.
Sounds right. I think I've talked about this tinfoil hat theory on the show after they blew the cover to Nevada, but this is the 2nd time now, technically 3rd, but the FIU game wasn't even close to covering, that James Franklin has failed to cover the spread for his boosters. And I guarantee you at least a couple boosters out there bet a bunch of money on these games to then throw into the NIL fund. So this is the 2nd time we've seen Penn State fail to cover at the buzzer. These boosters might be getting a little sick of throwing money on their spread. And all of a sudden, that NIL budget slowly evaporates for the Penn State Nittany Lions. And we might see some regression in a Big Ten that is getting really good. So just keep that in mind if in 3 years Penn State isn't as good and isn't getting as many 5 stars as the Ohio States of the world.
That's your theory?
That's my theory.
On why they're not going to be good?
If they're bad in 3 years, you know why.
So first it was Sandusky, and now it's going to be not covering spreads and losing bets to FanDuel and DraftKings from boosters. Like that's how the downfall of Penn State football will happen.
Yep. I tried to think of a good one-liner there, and I didn't, but that's going to be the downfall.
Interesting. All right. Well, what's the timeline on this? What do we circle back in like 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, because that'll be 3-4 years, I think, is the correct time. And we'll be sitting here on this show, and when Penn State starts the season 0-3, 0-2, we're going to know why, and we'll get Will to clip up this conversation.
It will be episode 507.
507. I'll probably be bald by then. This hairline's getting bad. It's the reason I wear hats all the time on this show.
I hope I'm doing all right.
A couple more games to get through here. UGA had a big win. Beat Tennessee on the road.
That was a fun one. I'm not going to lie. That was a fun one. I was at a Tennessee and Georgia watch party. The people were going at each other with all the lead changes and all that good stuff. But, wow, great game, honestly. I didn't want anyone to win, War Eagle, but I loved watching this one.
Yeah, I was a little premature on my Gunnar Stockton hate. I just thought he'd be bad with a name like Gunnar Stockton. But UGA's offense is good. You're used to the UGA defense being the reason they're so dominant, and this year it feels like it flipped.
I'd say so.
It certainly helps when their receivers aren't dropping every other pass. I think they led the league in drops last year.
Yeah,
led
they
the
probably
country
did.
in drops, I should say.
They probably did. Well, it's because they didn't have any work before that, all those receivers. The only guys that got catches the year before that were Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. Nobody else caught footballs for Georgia 2 years ago.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
We watched it. We watched them kick Auburn's ass, Brian. You don't remember?
Brock Bowers had like 150 yards in Jordan Hare. I remember.
Brock Bowers, the bane of our existence for a couple of years.
Yeah, that UGA team's going to be a problem. I wrote them off. I shouldn't have wrote them off. Tennessee, same old story. They get close, and then they just can't finish.
Brian, how out are you? I don't know if you guys already were saying this. I kind of wasn't paying attention for a second, but how locked in are you on Dabo Swinney getting fired?
Oh, yeah, I think it's all but confirmed here. And you mentioned that in the Iron Bowl, if Alabama's not good, Auburn's going to have a tougher time getting in. South Carolina, they might get to the Clemson game, and Clemson could be like 4-6.
Yeah, that's going to look – I mean, dude, how insane. And, they keep hyping up, and I don't know the names, but apparently the Clemson D-line, they continue to say, is going to be high-caliber prospects in the NFL draft. Are they really that good? Or I know the quarterback sucks, but
their defense is definitely better than their offense, which is
Haynes
crazy.
Just pretty much ran the ball down the field at will against them. I know they only put up 23 points, but
Haynes King's also kind of that dude.
He is kind of that dude. Georgia Tech might be a problem in the ACC.
Yeah, he's the Notre Dame quarterback from last year.
Riley Leonard.
He's a Riley Leonard of this year. I mean, he was doing it.
Leonard, is he learning under Indiana Jones this year?
Yeah, he's in the league. I don't know what team.
Colts.
I don't know what team he went to.
But didn't Leonard play in the national championship last year?
Yeah.
Klubnik's not going to get close.
Haynes King might.
Yeah.
Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Haynes King and the 3-0 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets,
who by the end of the year, when they're trying to justify where to put them and rank them and to bowl them in hell, maybe put in the last spot of the playoff the way they're going, that huge Clemson win right now could look really shitty come end of the season. No?
Dude, Georgia Tech may go into the game against Georgia, which is in Atlanta, by the way. Such a shame. They may go in there undefeated. Georgia Tech gets Temple, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, who just fired their coach. They just lost to Old Dominion by like 50. Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, who just almost lost to Stanford. They did lose to Stanford. Pittsburgh at home, and then they play Georgia. Haynes King may go into that Georgia game undefeated.
Yeah.
Imagine they win.
They're going to be the number one team in America if they win that.
Does it help?
They might be the 1 seed.
Does it help that Tennessee was at home? Is Tennessee good? Is Georgia not as good? That was a very winnable game for Tennessee.
It was in Tennessee.
Yeah,
they should have probably won it.
I don't know if
that's fair to say. It was definitely theirs to win. Could have gone either way.
They missed the field goal to win it.
The kick, the game was on the kicker's leg to win the game. All he needed to do was make it. What's that like? SEC school walking around campus on Monday. I mean, you're not going to class.
Nobody
Monday, right?
go anyway.
probably
Well,
going to go
he's a
anyway.
kicker, he
But
might.
I mean, dude, he's walking around.
Yeah, good point. He is a kicker.
Tennessee should be fine-ish, I think. I don't know. The SEC is so hard to predict because it's a lot of good teams. Or they could all be bad. We don't know.
Any given Saturday.
Let's see. Anything? Oh, we had South Florida get the doors beaten off. They might finally be regressing back to the mean.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami took care of it.
It's
I-
not I mean, look, whoever made their schedule is a bunch of scumbags. First of all, number two,
They were playing college football and they put in all the big games.
They came in and had to battle 3 straight tough games, and they went 2-1. I don't care. They got and again, I guess we could call Boise State whatever we want to call it because they really haven't looked that spectacular either.
No.
But look, that's 3 tough games ranked. I don't care. They went 2-1. So I'm not going to go and throw in the towel on what I believe is still a very good South Florida team. I think they caught Miami at the wrong time. Miami obviously was made aware, put on alert after South Florida winning 2 huge games. So they came in a lot more prepared. They were at home in South Florida, or way more South Florida than South Florida actually is. Where South Florida is located is, I think, a little bit of a geographical scam, if you ask me, but that's a different story. It's a tough game coming into game 3 of playing 3 tough games. They went 2-1. I'm not throwing in the towel on them without going on a huge rant. I'm not going to throw in. And the last game, I think that if that first game was against Miami at home, I think is a way different story than what we saw this past weekend. I'll leave it at that.
We also had another 2.5-hour lightning delay because we're not getting enough of those this football season. So just a weird overall feel to what should have been a big game. It's on the CW. You have the deep drive to left field. Goodbye, Castellanos guy on the call.
Tom
It's just a weird game.
He's back.
He is back. He's doing big football games because the CW is somehow getting him.
Well, that I don't think was supposed to be a big football game.
No.
I mean, people anticipated South Florida being 0-2 going into that game.
Yeah.
And look, they're a good football program. I like their coach a lot, and I think he's doing a really nice job. And I think the quarterback is good too. And they're ranked for a reason. They're a good football team. It's a tough game to go play that third game after what they've been through. So
yeah, with the way Tulane's looking, the American might be one of the best championship games we get in championship week. Assuming both Tulane and South Florida keep it up.
Yeah, Tulane looked good too against Duke. Duke sucks. They're frauds. What else do we have to talk about here? I wanted to talk about, just get some opinions. Is it on Friday night? I'm not sure. Illinois and Indiana this weekend. Quick look ahead.
Is that big noon Saturday?
I don't know.
Might be
Jack,
big
you
noon.
look like something's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I'm just confused. Why are we bringing up Tulane and Duke?
Tulane looks good,
Ryan
dude.
and I both,
They got the
Ryan and I
BYU
both-
quarterback.
Ryan and I both tailed Tulane money line.
Zach
So-
Recklaff. He's good. He
They
said
have-
he's tied the Tulane
They
program
have
record.
They
4
have
rushing touchdowns.
special places in our heart right now. First and foremost, Mr. Jack.
They got
Why are
the
we
second
talking- I
highest
can hear
rush
it.
to make the playoff by a group of 5.
First
They're a
and
good team.
foremost.
Don't sleep on Tulane.
Yeah.
Look
Very
at you
good
guys.
team. And
Look
the
at
coach-
you guys going to bat.
Did you
Are
see
you
the coach in
Tulane
the press
tied?
conference? He says, you start talking shit on us, you're going to come down to New Orleans and find out what Tulane football is all about. And they've looked really good.
Jack,
They-
imagine first round college football playoff. You have 8-seeded LSU taking on 9-seeded Tulane down in the bayou. That's pure cinema. If we get that as a first round matchup,
Pure cinema. You don't think LSU's going to be a bye seed, a bye team? I bet they'll get a bye.
no. You think they'll be top 4?
I do.
It's Brian Kelly. He's gonna lose 1 or 2 games that they're not supposed to.
You're right. You're right.
As much as I love guys named Brian, he's not it.
He's one of the worst.
Well, Brian Kelly, I don't know what his deal is, dude. Is he an ego head? Is he a narcissist? I don't know what his deal is, but
He might just not be a good football coach. He had Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, and Malik Neighbors, and he couldn't make the playoff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that game for you, Matt.
what game are you looking up?
Indiana and Illinois.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I'm sure I'm missing something, but that's two like top 15 teams ranked this weekend going at it, is it not?
Yeah, it's the so Indiana's 19. It's the 7:30 game.
It's a big game.
Indiana's favored by 6. I kind of like Illinois there.
I think it's in Indiana.
It is.
Yeah, that's like it's going to be a ruckus crowd. Dude, it was a pretty rowdy crowd for Indiana State coming in there, which again, Brian and I are on the wrong side of that, courtesy of Brian. But it
Larry Bird let me down.
Courtesy of Brian, as I said, I had no impact on choosing that outcome. Threw him in as a bankroll builder, as Brian likes to call him. It in fact was not. But going into Bloomington, Indiana, it's going to be a rowdy crowd. I know they can get fired up. And look, we'll see. We'll see, man. I kind of like buying a point and taking Illinois plus 7.5. I know we're not doing a huge college football preview. I kind of wanted to bring that back for IG Live. I know we've had some technical difficulties with follower count and things like that. So if you want to see those come back, follow us on Instagram so that we can go live again for the previews. I've been red hot this year in college football. Either way, not to go on a rant. I'm sorry, guys. But by the point, Illinois plus 7.5. I still do not believe in that fraud of a quarterback that somehow beat Auburn on the road last year, which is a joke in itself as well. Fraud Doza.
QB2 now.
Call him. Fraud Doza is what we'll call him. Maybe we see it this weekend.
I don't buy Indiana.
I don't buy Indiana either.
We saw that home field advantage in full effect last year against Ohio State.
Yeah, it wasn't existent.
Yep.
Also, Ohio State different than Illinois, but Illinois nothing to scoff at, right?
You'll get those basketball fans clamoring for their football coming into town in Bloomington.
Yeah, I mean, can they win outright?
I think they can.
Geeky. All right. I know we're not looking ahead of the slate, but an early look.
Yeah, what we can look ahead to, some MLB. Matt, I know you probably want to sit here and take it all in. Your Philadelphia Phillies clinched for the second year in a row.
Victory! The playoff beard starts now. Maybe I'll shave one more time before the playoffs, but I always, every year, it's been a tradition when the playoffs start. And that's probably was a downfall last year. I think I did touch the beard.
Yeah, you did shave it.
Usually before, I'll try and bring it back this year, the night before the Phillies' first playoff game, whether that's in the wild card, looking like they'll get a bye. Not sure how I feel about that yet. But it looking like they'll get the bye. And the night before that first game, I will shave my beard off, and then it doesn't get touched again until they're lifting the World Series trophy. But we'll see, man. I'm excited. They're peaking at the right time. They're playing big games. Last time they clinched the division in LA was 2008 when they won the World Series. Some good juju there. And I think they're peaking at the right time. They're 20-8 since Wheeler hit the shelf for the rest of the year. So not missing him. Obviously, they will miss him in the playoffs. He is the guy you can go with. Hopefully, Aaron Nola turns into his prime elite self in the playoffs like he has been over the years past. I know he's had a very, very, very disappointing year. But the playoffs are a completely different animal than the regular season. We saw Walker Buehler was the all-star, the best pitcher in the World Series last year. The guy's got a 5+ ERA on the Phillies, by the way, as well. We'll see what happens.
Pick him up?
They did pick him up. They picked them up for a nice little playoff weapon. Yeah, we'll see, man. Phillies NL East champions back-to-back years. They've been dominant. We'll see. They're peaking at the right time. Harrison Bader looks like the best player in baseball. Who would have thought? Only setting up a monstrous 0 for 30 slump in the playoffs is what I'm scared of from him.
Yeah, I think he hit 531 in that 4-game series against the Mets.
Crazy.
He was out for revenge.
He was
not happy.
pissed.
Well, speaking of the Mets, I tuned in to the Mets and Padres game last night, Brian, for one singular pitch, and Sean Manaea gave up a home run in like the 8th inning.
It's probably the 9th inning to mop up the game. They did and this would be an interesting tandem if they went with it. If they did end up making the postseason, they started with Clay Holmes for 4, and then Manaea through the last 5. And they gave up 3 runs all game against a good Padres lineup. So like you would take that if you're the Mets, considering the kind of pitching they've gotten lately. But they have their own uphill battle to make the playoffs. Like Matt had said, the Phillies are peaking at the right time. The Mets have been slowly deteriorating since June, and they're hanging on by a thread. And the only reason they're still in the playoff position is because they started 45-24. But they beat the Padres last night. If they can beat them 2 more times at home, which they can only really win at Citi Field, they can't win on the road, which they're going to have to do in the playoffs. So we'll see if they even get there. If they beat them twice, they should comfortably be in, I would think. But you never know.
I think the Mets are dead.
If they beat the Padres twice here, they'd be 2 behind San Diego and 2 or 3 up on everybody else.
Are they they're in the 3rd wild card spot right now?
The Mets are. San Diego's in the 2nd. So right now they're 4 back of San Diego and 2 ahead of San Francisco, Arizona, and Cincinnati, essentially. They might be 3 ahead of Cincinnati.
Which is just such a joke, man. Those teams are
the 3rd wild card is a joke.
They don't even want to win. Like those 3 teams, the teams chasing the Mets are like they don't.
The Giants
even
sold
win.
to the Mets at the deadline.
It's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous.
Yeah, but the Mets still have 3 against the Nationals and 3 against the Marlins on the schedule. So there is a chance if they win 2 more against the Padres, they're 2 back, and there's a chance they can move ahead of the Padres for that 5 spot, which I don't even know if they want, because if the season ended today, the 6 spot would play the 3, which would be the Dodgers probably. And then the 4-5 would be hosted by the Cubs. So maybe you would like to play the Cubs on the road. I don't know. If you're the Mets, you just want to get in.
Yeah, that's what they're banking for. I mean, I would think that if the Mets are probably that 3rd wild card team, and it probably sets up an away wild card series against the Dodgers.
Yeah, which
is that what that's looking like right now?
Great matchup for them.
I wouldn't say that's great at all.
No,
Dodgers haven't been spectacular either, though.
They haven't. And Nolan McLean going game 1, he's probably one of the better pitchers right now, at least that's been pitching lately that you'd won in game 1. So I'd take that. But after that, I don't know where the Mets are going to go for pitching.
Yeah, and also this guy's been in the big leagues for less than a month.
He's got 6 starts. He's 1.19 ERA through 6 starts is pretty good.
A road playoff start in Dodger Stadium. I don't care what his numbers are. As a rookie, we'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. But I mean, I have faith, at least more faith than I had in a Kodai Senga or a Shaman Haya being their game 1 starter a month ago. I don't have much faith in this team, but it would be the most Mets thing in the world for them to go on a run and win the World Series this year after as much fun as it was in 2024, to just put you through hell in all of 2025 and then end up winning it all in a year that's felt like 5 years.
That
Brian,
would be a very Mets thing to do.
Brian, who are the Phillies taking on in the World Series out of the American League?
I think the Mariners. You talk about the Phillies peaking at the right time. The Mariners have won like 12 straight. They can't stop hitting. Eugenio Suarez, I still can't say his name right. That's probably why I lost fantasy baseball. He's not hitting, but everyone else is. And they've won 12 in a row. And on top of all that, you have the Pacific Northwest bet still weighing in my head. And I think they're finally going to be the team to win it.
They could be. And I think we need to settle on a punishment for that bet. Considering you're taking it to your grave, essentially, since you said ever again. So it exists for at least as long as you exist. Yeah, that is very true. I I don't think the Mariners. I know they're peaking at the right time. I just think there's better teams in the AL. Like I think Boston's better than them. I think even the Yankees are better than them, especially in a playoff series. I know they've looked good in the regular season, but I would take the Astros over them. I'm not going to trust the Mariners until they prove it. Hell, I would take the managing of AJ Hinch and the Tigers over the Mariners in a playoff series.
Yeah, I know the Tigers haven't been as egregious of a fall off as the Mets, not even close, but they've
It's been a little
they were
rocky
still
down
good.
the stretch.
And it's just a little weird. They've kind of been just stalling.
They've just
for that
stalling,
long.
plateauing.
And they've been able to because that division is such just trash.
I mean, Cleveland has made a little bit of a run at the wild card, I think. But other than that,
Yeah, they're in the conversation. But
Yeah.
that's just because
other than that, it's been weak. But I don't know, man. Are the Phillies the first team to clinch the division?
the Brewers did it
The
a
Brewers
couple
got
days
it done.
before.
A couple days before. Okay. Well, the NL proving their dominance. Where the AL's that tight, I don't know. I think the NL's probably a little better, right?
The NL should be better, but then you look at the third wild card spot
And it's a joke.
because it's all because of the Mets. It's literally because the Mets have been such shit that the NL looks worse now because of that third wild card spot.
Yeah, nobody wants it.
Yep.
I mean, all it takes is Giants, Reds, Mets to get red hot, and like they secure with ease, and it's hasn't been that. So I think we ramp up the baseball content here as we roll into we're less than 2 weeks from game one of a playoff game. So
10 games left in the regular season for the Mets not to
Excited.
blow it.
excited to get into that, man. We shall see. But
Should we do some Michael of the Week here?
yeah, threw me off when I saw the outline. I thought we had some winners and losers coming, but we got
Good old Mike.
Mike.
Say
coming
what up,
back.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Jack, I know it's your favorite segment. You want to start us off?
You want me to start us off?
Yeah.
Sure. Sean McVay tore his plantar fascia. It's the muscle that runs through your foot
Mm-hmm.
while coaching at the game. And I don't understand how coaches pull this off, especially a young one like him. Like, we haven't seen this from Pete Carroll in his 80 years of coaching. We haven't seen this from older, bigger guys like Big Red, Andy Reid. Like, how is it Sean McVay, who's in the tier of athletic, young coaches, that tears his plantar fascia? That's the same injury that Travis Etienne had that kept him out of his rookie year. Like, his entire rookie year. That's the injury that Sean McVay had from coaching. How does this happen?
Brandon Nimmo did that in the playoffs last year, and he couldn't run. He had to hobble his way through, especially against the Titans. What's he doing in that game where it's a easy? Well, I guess they wasn't an easy win, but it's the Titans.
The first half they put up a fight. The second half they sort of rolled over.
Is he running up and down the sideline that much?
Also, let's not forget, I know you said it, Jack, like Pete Carroll's been around. Like, McVay's a pretty young guy. Like, this should not be happening.
That's what I'm saying. He's a young, athletic, in shape dude. Pause, because I don't like talking about aesthetics as much as Brian.
Is he younger than Aaron Rodgers? He might be.
No.
He might be.
I don't think so.
Probably right around the same age.
I think he was hired as the coach when he was like 36 or 37. And he's been there like 8 or 9.
He's 39. Wow, so he was high. He must have been hired when he was like 34.
39?
Yeah.
He's the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude. He was hired like literally, like he's been there.
Aaron
8
Rodgers
years.
41.
He's been there 8 years or 9 years.
That's insane.
I didn't realize it was that young. And then Gladstone blew him out of the water as GM.
Yeah. Well, let's see. He could be the youngest GM to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 2017. Sean McVay was 31. Led his team to 11-5 record.
Coming to Duval soon.
McVay?
No, an 11-5 record and a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, you can't be losing to Jake Brown.
Yeah, one can dream, right, Brian? Just let me have this.
I can't wait for that Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz game this weekend. We'll get into confidence picks, but
Yeah,
it's going to be so much fun.
that'll be very interesting. But you want to
Matt,
hear my
what's your
Mike of the week?
Yeah, Matt, let's get into your Michael.
Mine's going to be the crossover between the Fortnite streamers and trying to be sports content creators. Ninja had some very interesting comments about nobody wanting. It had to be clickbait, but talking about nobody wanting to watch the Chiefs and Eagles this past weekend, calling it a boring game, boring offense, everything boring. I can send you guys the clip. He said, "Get these trash teams." He said, essentially, was like, "Who wants to watch these boring teams play, Eagles and Chiefs?" And he had a lot of words about it. I don't know if he realizes the Super Bowl this past year had 127.7 million viewers, the most watched Super Bowl ever. So, a lot of people want to watch these two teams play football, and I think his Fortnite career is dead, so he's trying to stay relevant with some clickbait.
Yeah, to be fair to Ninja, the Super Bowl was kind of boring.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was boring because it wasn't a close game. But like the Eagles were putting up points galore, dude. There was electric play after electric play. Like it was. I mean, it was 34-0 and or whatever it was, and Hurts is throwing deep shots, dagger shots to Devonta Smith. While you're up that big late in the third quarter. So was it boring from the stance of like, yeah, it wasn't a close, exciting game, maybe. But that offense was humming. To say the teams are boring, I think is a little bit of a joke. And if anything, the Chiefs are falling off a little bit. But to say that about the Eagles, you can say what you want about the tush push, whatever. They're not a boring football team. They have explosive weapons all over the field on both sides of the football. Do they not, Jack? You seem to disagree.
No, not on that point. Just on the boring part. I don't know. It's been pretty boring to start the season, I would say. At least for me, a non-Eagles fan. Even though they've been playing good teams, Jalen Hurts hasn't really, other than like Devonta Smith catching that one deep ball, like I haven't really seen him airing it out. A.J. Brown hasn't been doing crazy shit.
They're getting warmed up. It's a new offensive coordinator.
And I get it. You got Saquon Barkley and the best offensive line in the league and one of the best defenses in the league. All you have to do is run the ball 25 times a game, which they do, and you'll win it. Or with Saquon, but Jalen Hurts gets his too. It has been a little bit boring.
I mean, this is why I said Hard Knocks kind of suck this year. It's because good teams are boring. Unless you're like Josh Allen running around all the time. Good teams are boring.
I don't know.
Ninja, he had that tweet about kickers a couple years ago where he said he doesn't understand why NFL kickers miss. Why not just get a kicker that can make it? So he doesn't know ball.
I think the guy needs to stay out of the NFL conversation, who's a Lions fan, by the way.
He likes the Ford Field aesthetics, the Fox cameras.
I don't know. Thought it was weird to call.
You and him have a lot in common, Brian?
I can't build a building in Fortnite. Never was very good at that game.
You don't strike me as a gamer.
All right, man. What's your mic of the week?
Yeah, just a quick one. This is more retroactive, kind of hand up. I missed this for the Sunday recap. We had a birdogami on Sunday. All 5 NFL teams that have bird mascots won. The Ravens, Cardinals, Eagles, Seahawks, and Falcons all got wins. It's a birdogami. First time since 2020.
Wow.
A
birdogami.
Also, the WNBA playoffs are back. And I don't know how the players expect the owners to pay them what they owe them if they can't even pay for advertising to let people know the playoffs are back. Because I didn't know they were back until I looked up ESPN today and saw WNBA playoff headlines.
What's the WNBA?
Caitlin Clark's been out, so that's probably half the reason they don't want to pay for stuff. Paige Beckers won Rookie of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, that was easy money. She's actually been killing it.
Yeah, Fever's first playoff win since 2015. bringing some life back to Indiana women's basketball without Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham as well.
Big year for Indiana basketball.
Oh, yeah. But what's that? That series 1-1 headed to Atlanta? Or do they stay in? No, maybe they
I'm
stay.
not sure
I don't know.
if they
I don't know
might
how
do a
that
best
works.
of 3 in the first round.
They do a best of 3. So it's tied 1-1. Do they stay in Indiana?
You guys ready
No.
for some confidence picks?
Yeah, it probably goes 1-1-1. No, let's give out a WNBA champion real quick. Everyone give out a WNBA champion. And then we'll get into
I don't
confidence
know.
picks.
Jack, dude, just fucking be
I got the-
fun, dude. Just
I got-
be fun.
I got the Las Vegas Aces.
All right, I got to look up the bracket real quick.
I don't care who's in their way.
The Aces are in a 1-1 series right now against the Seattle Storm.
Is that what's her name?
The Liberty are the 5 seed? I'm going to go with the Liberty as the 5. Back to back.
We'll all be different here, and I'll take the chalk, which I thought Jack would go with, and I'll take the Minnesota Lynx.
Maya Moore.
Is
Think
she
she's
still
been
on that
retired
team?
for- No,
Oh,
she's
I
been
was like,
retired for
dude,
10 years,
there's
but
no way.
I think
All
she's
right,
up there.
we have her picks. Yeah, love the Lynx. Only 10 losses this year.
34 games they play, right?
No, 44.
Okay.
They
New
went
England
34 and 10. Yeah, they went 34 and 10. All right. Anyway,
Confidence
Yeah.
picks.
that's all we needed. Shit, I'll kick it off. How'd we do last week, though, Bri?
Yeah, this is also on me. I did not tally up the scores, but I can do the records real quick.
Let's do it real quick.
I lost 5 games. Matt, you only lost twice. Well, I didn't actually put in your last 2 picks, so I'm not sure.
I forget what they were, too, to be honest. But
And then Jack, you lost 4. So even if Matt lost his 2-1, Matt, you're still in the lead. Jack, you still have catching up to do, and I'm in second.
I feel like what were the 2 games that I didn't have in there? And I'll tell you where I was. I have integrity, Jack.
I'm sure you do.
Broncos, Colts?
I-
You probably went Broncos.
I don't remember, dude.
You've been high on the Broncos.
I've been high on the
Bro,
Broncos. I was a little
quit
banged up,
lying.
though, dude. I think I went Colts, and I'm not even just saying that. But I'll take the Broncos just because nobody's going to believe that after the fact. Completely
Well, bro,
fine.
fill out the whole fucking thing next time.
Well, I was a little bit, had a couple beers from
Banged
the
up.
pod. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So, we can go back and listen to the pod too. So if maybe
It's a good pod.
Yeah, but and what's the other one I'm missing, Bri?
Chargers, Raiders.
Oh, I definitely had the Raiders. That was at 1, and I had Raiders over Chargers. I know for a fact. All right.
All right, so you lost at least 3. We were not sure about 4. But either way, in terms of your losses, I think you're
been
still
red hot, dude.
Although,
red
actually,
hot.
you lost in 11. You picked the Steelers over the Seahawks at 11. So I may have overtaken you for the lead. Stay tuned for that.
No way. dude.
That's me.
Yeah.
No.
Jack
that's
had
Matt.
Steelers.
No,
No,
that's
you had them
Matt.
at 12.
You
I
had
have
them
him at 12.
All right, whatever. Week 3, confidence picks. I really wish we could have the NFL theme song behind us as we do this, but we'll take the easy one, biggest spread, Bills over Dolphins. Then we jump over to the Packers over the Browns. I took the Seahawks over Saints. Some could say a little high here. Then the Chiefs over the Giants. I think that one's going to be a tricky game, but the Chiefs, there's no way to go 0-3. Bucks over Jets. Niners over Cardinals. Falcons over Panthers, which looking at this now, I want to I feel a lot more confident in that Falcons in the Falcons beating Carolina. Colts over Titans. Weird trap game for the Colts here. I don't love it, but it feels like a pick you got to have up top because it gets tricky. Chargers over Broncos, another tricky one. Ravens over Lions. Eagles over the Rams. Could be a tricky trap game as well. Steelers over Pats. Bengals over the Vikings in a very disgusting game. Cowboys over the Bears. I think the Texans beat the Jags. And I took the Raiders over Commanders. Took another shot on Pete Carroll here.
Possibly no Jaden Daniels for that Raiders Commanders game.
So we'll see what happens there. But
Marcus Mariota stepping into the fold.
Could be dicey for them. But yeah, Pete's not happy after that loss, and he's definitely in Geno Smith's ear, chewing him out after a pretty lackluster performance against a very good Chargers team. Let's not take. I mean, that team's very good.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball 45 times and not get 200 yards passing. That's hard to do.
That was nuts. They really, I mean, the receiving core they need to make a trade for a receiver. And I think if they got a legit receiver in there, look out. They could hang in some games.
Well, they had Amari Cooper.
That's not a legit receiver.
They could hang in some games.
It's not a legit receiver. I'm talking go make a splash.
Who could they get?
Just
Michael Wilson.
Just a good receiver on a bad team. They're out there. Brian Thomas Jr. after the Jags fans have turned on him.
Nope.
I think they're already
not happening.
He's getting a lot of heat.
Not all of them are turning on him.
He's getting a lot of heat.
Stay strong, DT.
All right, Daz, those are my picks. I don't know who wants to go
Jack,
next, but I know I did my job.
Yeah. Pretty similar up top. Bills, Packers. Those are the two big ones. And then I've got the Falcons over the Panthers. I'm checked out on the Panthers again. They're bad until they prove me otherwise. Chiefs over the Giants. I will say, I really hope that the Giants compete in this game, but there's no shot they beat the Chiefs. Bucks over the Jets. They get a backup quarterback. Niners over the Cardinals. Seahawks over the Saints. Colts over the Titans. Not really worried about that. The Colts have actually looked pretty good. Titans are still struggling to get Cam Ward going. Vikings over the Bengals. Ravens over the Lions. Eagles over the Rams. Commanders over the Raiders. Regardless of who's at quarterback, I've got faith in that team. Broncos over the Chargers. Definitely think we see Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and the boys get right here. Didn't love that the Chargers were only able to put up 20 points in the Monday night game. Definitely think that they're going to struggle against Broncos defense. I'm thinking last week was just a miscue for their defense against the Colts. They just weren't ready for that team. They'll get right this week. Bears over the Cowboys. Steelers over the Pats. I'm not very confident in the Steelers, but I'm holding on to my picks. And last but not least, the Jags over the Texans. That could happen.
Yeah, I think we're going to be very similar this week. It seems like a lot of.
Well, you're starting to get a trend of how these teams are playing, and this is usually where you start to see some of the survivor pools start getting really choppy, and spreads you think are a lock are the any given Sunday quote starts to fly week 3, week 4.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about my survivor pick this week is Seahawks Saints, which I guess I'll get into mine. I have that at 13. Above that, I have Bills over Dolphins, Packers over the Browns. I don't know if the Browns are going to score on Sunday. It's going to be tough. Chiefs over the Giants in a game I don't want to watch. 49ers over the Cardinals, Bucks over the Jets, Ravens over the Lions, Falcons over Panthers, Eagles over Rams, Colts over Titans. Daniel Jones is going to start 3-0. Chargers over the Broncos, Cowboys over Bears. I took the Commanders over the Raiders, but if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, I'm not going to really like that pick at all. Bengals over the Vikings. I can't wait to watch that game. Patriots over the Steelers, and I have Jack's Jaguars getting a big win in the division over the Texans.
Duval.
Is that game in Jacksonville?
I believe it's in Houston.
It's in Houston.
Trevor Lawrence better put up at least 20 fantasy points in a dome.
Yeah, I'm giving him the start this week in a league or two.
What's Nico Collins over under? Whatever it is, add 20 yards and take it.
For fucking real. No, I mean, look, there's a shot, but there's also, look, they haven't really been able to get him going too much. I know he had a touchdown this past week, but Week 1 was a disaster, and I don't think if watching that game against the Bucs, I don't think it was much better. CJ Stroud just doesn't have any time to throw the ball or do anything. That offensive line is terrible.
Yeah, the offensive line is really bad. He's still a guy that's there. It's a divisional matchup. I don't see any way. I mean, we just saw Jamar Chase torch the Jaguars secondary with Browning back there, and not that CJ Stroud has looked fantastic, and again, we can blame it on the offensive line. I find it hard to believe that Nico Collins doesn't have like a 100-yard game.
The best D-line in football against a really bad offensive line.
Who's the best D-line in football?
Brian said it, not me.
You've said it before.
Is that why you're saying that, or you genuinely believe that?
No, I'm saying it because he said it multiple times.
It is a good.
I was going to say, I'm not saying it's a bad one, but to say best,
it's pretty good.
I don't think you've said it this year. I'll give you that. Last year, you were all over it.
Well, you were way higher on the Jags defense last year.
Yeah, and we're better this year, which is crazy. So I got
you also
my
had them as a
expectations
13-win team last year as well. So
what could have been? What should have been? You know how many one-score games we were in last year? Freaking 13.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Should have brought back Doug Murray.
There was so many weeks last year where we're seeing the Jaguars and the Chiefs side by side, like 10 one-score games, 10 wins for the Chiefs, 10 losses for the Jags. Like it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference right there.
Yeah, but I do got to go. So,
well, I think that kind of wraps up the show anyway. So we got everything we needed, Mr. Jack. Good luck.
Peace, gang. War Eagle.
You're now in the mix with DJ Savage.
And we will wrap it up.
Yep, Mets already down 1-0. See you guys Monday.
See you Monday.